Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Matthew here. Welcome to another video. I have a quick question for you. Have you been trying to make more money, or you desire to make more money, but it just seems like the more you try to make more money, the more the money disappears? Well, if that is the case, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can actually start to have more money at the end of every month. For the longest time, being an engineer, I thought that a high income equaled security. And what I ended up realizing is that just because you earn a high income does not mean that you are going to be secure, especially not financially secure, because all it takes is for you to go to work one day and you lose your job or they fire you. You can unfortunately have some type of injury, whether that's critical, chronic, or severe, maybe even terminal, and you end up not being able to work. And that is going to cause for you not to be able to provide for yourself, let alone provide for your family if you have one. So, the thing that I had to learn how to do, which I would suggest for you to do, especially if you desire to have any type of financial freedom, whether it's $100,000, $500,000, $1 million, is all going to come down to this one principle. And if you can actually learn this while you're not making as much, then once you start making more money, you will be able to keep that money. And the thing that we're going to talk about today is management. We're going to talk about managing your money. For the longest time, I thought that management and budgeting were the same thing, and they are not the same thing. Managing your money is basically, or really managing anything is giving it direction. In this particular video, talking about managing your money is giving your money a direction to go. Because wherever you don't, whatever you, whenever you do not give your money direction to go, basically, what is it going to be used for? You're just going to end up spending all of it. And that's what I found myself doing. So there are actually 6 categories that you can actually utilize, that I started to utilize, that has helped me on this journey of managing my money. The first thing is, if you are a believer, tithing. All right, tithing, giving 10% of whatever it is that you actually have. And that is basically just showing that you honor God, and it's showing that you trust God with your finances. And that's basically what it is. So this right here would actually be 10%. So let's say that right now you are earning $3,000 per month. If you're earning $3,000 per month and you're doing 10%, that means that for this example, the $3,000, that's going to end up being $300. Now, moving on to the next thing, which is extremely important, and I had to start doing this, and I realized that it allowed for me to have more money, and that is actually living off 50%. Living off 50% of my income. Now, for you to be able to do this, and for some of you watching this video, you're not able to do this right now. However, you want to work towards being able to do this, because once you're able to live off 50% of your income, now you're going to be able to have extra money to start putting not only in these other areas, but you're going to be able to start putting the money in different vehicles where you can actually have it working for you while you are not working. So this right here is 50%. And so 50% of the 3,000, that would be 1,500. So if you are making $3,000 per month, you need to figure out a way to be able to live off of $1,500. All right. That means your rent, your utilities, car note, all that stuff. You need to figure out a way to be able to do that. And it's only temporary. So many people go throughout life and they're like, oh, well, I don't want to stay in this house because, or stay in this apartment because it makes me look like this. Now, I'm not saying go and stay somewhere where it's not safe. However, you don't have to stay in the most luxurious apartment. And I know even these days it's going to be a little difficult just because of the fact that a lot of these rent prices are $1,000 or $1,200. But like I said, for this example, that is $1,500. You can take whatever number that you're actually earning and put it right here. Now, the next thing is saving 10%. Now, when you actually go and you start saving 10%, that is going to allow for you to have a cushion. So if anything happens like an emergency, you are going to be able to be okay. You're not going to be scrambling, trying to figure out, well, how are you going to pay this? How are you going to pay that? You are going to be just fine. And saving 10% is going to be your goal. Like I said before, you may not be there yet, but if you stay to the end of this video, I will actually share with you what are the main three that you need to focus on if you're not able to do these percentages yet. So moving on from saving, what you want to do next is you want to start having some money to be able to actually educate yourself. Now, education is not going back to school. However, education is being able to learn new skills. You're able to learn new skills by reading books. You're able to learn new skills by having courses, going to seminars. These are going to be different things that are going to help elevate your mind. It's going to cause you to think different. You're going to be in different environments, and this is really what's going to help you start to increase your skills. And why do you want to increase your skills? So you can start potentially earning more money. And this right here, you want to do 10%. So then this would be $300. And like I said, we're going off that 3,000. Now this next one, what you want to actually start doing is you want to have some money that is working for you. So this is investing. So for some people, that may be stocks. It might be real estate. It may be, for some people, crypto. But you just have to know what your risk tolerance is when you're getting into these things. Because if you do not know your risk tolerance and all you're doing is you're trying to go and make a lot of money, you're going to end up losing a lot of money. If you're trying to make it fast, you have to understand the games that you're playing. Understand how stocks work, understand how real estate works, understand how crypto works, and whatever else you may be considering investing in. Make sure you have a good understanding of how that works. Now, the last thing is, which this actually really helped me, because you see, you're going through all this stuff right here, and you're like, man, Matthew, like, I'm paying my tithe, okay, I'm living on 50%, I'm saving 300, I got my education, I'm investing. Like, what is it going to be next? Well, this one is actually my favorite, and this is also 10%. And that is, you need to schedule some time to have fun. All right, so maybe you want to go out to eat. So eating out. Maybe you want to go to a game. You know, maybe you want to, try something new. Just trying something new. Well, when you end up doing this, now you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And when you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, now you are going to be like, man, I need to go and I need to earn some more money, because when I go and earn more money, that means that I can actually have more fun. And the caveat with this one is you have to spend all of this, you have to spend it all every single month. Every month is zero. All right, every month is going to start at zero. Now, as I stated before, there are three that you want to mainly focus on that's going to really help you if you are not able to do these percentages yet. And that's fine. If you're not able to do these percentages yet, you know where your first goal is to be able to get to doing these percentages. So the ones that you really want to focus on first, and I call these the non-negotiables, are number one, tithing. All right. Number two, you need to get your living expenses. And number three, you need to be saving. Now, if you are working towards this, for some of you, you may not be at 50%. You might actually be at 80%. You might actually be at 80%. And because you're at 80%, that means that you have to take money away from here. So instead of you actually having $300, maybe you're just putting $100 there. Instead of you putting, $300 here, maybe you're just putting $100 there. And maybe you're just having fun with $100. Now, the key principle that I want you to understand, It doesn't truly matter how much money you put in each one of these categories, except for these. Like, you do want to get to a point where you're actually at, giving 10% of your tithe, give the 10%. You want to get to a point where you're living off 50%, and you want to get to a point of saving 10%. But for these, it doesn't necessarily matter how much you're putting in there. The goal is that you want to develop the habit of always putting money over there. That is the goal. You want to develop the habit of always putting money over there. So if you were not, like I said, at the 10, 50, 10, 10, 10, 10, then you know where you want what you have to do, what you need to do to be able to work there. Now, when it comes to actually budgeting, because I know that some of you may have this question. You're like, well, what about budgeting? You said it's different than management. Yes, it's different than management, because when it comes to budgeting, now that you know you have $1,500 going here, budgeting is deciding how much of this 1,500 are you going to spend on your living expenses. So let's say you got your rent, you have utilities. These are things that you have to start thinking about. Okay, well, how much, since I have this 50%, how much am I going to spend on my rent, on my utilities? And that's when budgeting actually comes into play. So I hope that you found this helpful. If so, make sure you go ahead and leave this video a like. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next video.